guys, and welcome to Vlogmas day, I think 8, but I'm not quite sure.
Merry Christmas.
The Christmas lights fill the city. There are people everywhere. The snow is falling white and pretty.
I'm watching Tim Tracker on my Google Home, and I'm just about to make us a full English breakfast.
How you feel about packing up today? Leave this all behind. Go get snowed in somewhere. You and me.
Fluffs keeps jumping up on the table, and it's a really bad habit. She never used to do it in the old house. Come on, off the table. And she never listens to me. We had a really nice morning. I actually got to work this morning. I had some Vlogmases to edit and also some Patreon stuff to do. I've still got some work to do, and this is a downside of being a business owner, but I'll go into a little bit more of that later on. But we have to head out to Edinburgh. I've been working, Matthew's singing, we've been singing Time May Change Me, but I can't change time. Anyway, we are about to head off to Edinburgh for 4 nights to the Edinburgh Christmas market, but unfortunately we are setting off a bit late because I had a lot of work to do, and I still got quite a lot of work to do, so I am taking my laptop and stuff. It's not going to be a full holiday, unfortunately. Well, that's just what you gotta do as a business owner, am I right? Anyway, I'm going to head off right now. It takes about 3 hours and 20 minutes to get there. We're going the coast way, so should have pretty nice views, although you guys probably won't see because it's going to get dark in approximately like half an hour. So let's head on out to Edinburgh for the Edinburgh Christmas markets. We made it to our Premier Inn safe and sound. It's currently 8:30, so we have to just literally dump our bags and go straight to the restaurant downstairs because we're all really hungry, and obviously they stopped serving food soon, so we need to get some tea. It's like an older room Premier Inn. Some Premier Inns have like a modern room, but this is like more old-fashioned, but it'll do for us. It's still like really modern though, and all the communal areas are really nice here too. We're going to head straight down for some lunch, I think, and head to the restaurant.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
This is my current filming setup because I'm going to chat with you guys. I've made a makeshift softbox here with my dress. I don't think the lighting is very good. Oh my goodness, never mind. Hopefully you'll be able to see me quite clearly. But I just wanted to have a sit down heart to heart with you guys and talk about small businesses and some sides of it that aren't so glamorous or aren't so nice. And one of those things is not being able to take holidays properly. Now, this isn't talked about enough, I don't think, or at least it's something that I didn't expect as a business owner. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts when I started my business, and the podcasts were always like, oh, you work a lot more hours but you're more fulfilled, and you always hear the same kind of rhetoric, and it's very true. That's the thing. It is pretty cliche for a reason. Like, it is actually true. You are more fulfilled. It's not for everyone, don't get me wrong, but and you do end up working more than the 40-hour work week. The difference is you actually enjoy what you're doing, whereas some people are stuck in jobs that they literally dread to go to work in the next day. But there is definite downsides with that. So you used to hear, I remember listening to this podcast, I can't remember who it was, to get some motivation, and he was on about, he was in the middle of his vacation and he had to fly back. Obviously I am not to that level. To me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like, especially starting out, that's insane. Like, family time is super important. There is ways you can have those proper holidays, but for me personally, like, I love traveling and I love running a business, and I still want to experience travel while I'm running a business. And I would love to be one of those digital nomads who could do the work on the road, but unfortunately there is parts where I have to be in the studio quite a lot of the time. Although it seems really fun and stuff, like, oh, she's able to get away whenever she wants. Yes, that's very true. However, when you are away, you can't always get the same vacation or holiday like you would in a standard job. I think it's probably worse when you're smaller, because you juggle in a lot of things, like we answer messages and stuff, and when we're on the road, we still, and on holiday, we still have to check up with our emails or any important queries or anything that might crop up. And I remember listening to this podcast and something serious had went wrong in his business and he had to fly back. Whereas if this was a normal standard job, you wouldn't really necessarily be required to fly back during your vacation. That would be really heavily frowned upon if your boss rang you up, unless you were senior management and something very serious happened and you had to fly out. But normally is the case that you are able to, I remember the feeling, especially working in an office full time, or even when I worked at Morrison's, because I've had a job since I was 16, I've had multiple jobs at a time. The feeling of clocking off and the run up to a holiday was super, super fun. And I used to remember feeling super excited for my holiday. The whole week I couldn't concentrate, and it felt like just a complete clock off. You were clocked out of work, that was it. You did not have to worry about anything at work. It was fine. You could just go and switch off and enjoy your holiday or vacation. When you've got a small business or you're a small business owner, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to open up a discussion about this. I feel like that isn't the case. There's often times, even when we went to Florida, I would have to be jumping on the Etsy orders to sort some problems out and try to problem solve. When you get to the point of having a team, they only ring you if there's an emergency or there's some queries they can't solve, but you're always kind of semi in work mode. Does that make sense? You're not fully switched off, like the switch hasn't fully turned off. There's always like something slightly in the back of your mind, and it's when you're passionate about something as well, sometimes you can't help but being on mode, like you want to share. Like for me, I love connecting with you guys, so often when I'm away on holiday I would do some social media, which might be classed as work or social media marketing, but I enjoy connecting with you guys. But it's still not that full off switch that I used to get when I worked in an office or when I worked in another workplace outside of my own. And this is something like this weekend I have a lot of work to do, and it's unfortunate because I would have loved to have got it done before now so I could just sit back and relax, but unfortunately things happen in business, things take longer, problems crop up. That's not always the case. You can't just like get it done and then clock off. I have to do it. There's people like waiting, like my patrons for example. I have Patreon work to do here, and also I've gave myself a challenge with these Vlogmases, but it is a fun sacrifice because I can still just pop away when I want and book a trip when I want. And yeah, that side of it is really, really fun, and I feel privileged that I can just go away, but I can't quite fully switch off. And this week, as we're in Edinburgh, it's going to be a mix of work and pleasure as well. Another thing is the run up to going away is extremely stressful because you'll have loose ends you really, really need to tie up. And I thought I would share this with you guys because I've shared a lot about business and small business and the highs and the lows, and this is one of those lows. I wouldn't even call it a low necessarily, but it's definitely not as glamorous as it's made out to be. If you're very easily wound up and easily strung and really need to break away, you have to be strategic in that breakaway when you've got a small business, or at least that's my experience anyway. I would love to open a discussion in the comments below if you're a small business or an artist, how you overcome this and how you kind of plan in the run up, because the way it is for me, I feel like really, really manic and hectic hectic before going away somewhere. I feel like it's chaos and I'm trying to pull all the loose strings together, and I always feel like I don't quite finish what I need to have finished. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know you guys will see me hopping around here, there and everywhere, but unfortunately it does come at a slight price, and that's not like I can just like swan off and then I never like do any work. It's all pure enjoyment. I don't want to over glamorize that side of things because it's not quite like that. At least it's not in my experience, but I am still extremely grateful that I have this experience. I'd love to hear from you guys as a small business owner how you overcome this. I'm still very, very much at the beginning of my small business journey. How do you do it? Do you just completely switch off and relax, or do you find yourself the same as me, like doing a little bit here and there and having a sneaky look? And do you also work on the road as well when you can, if you are self-employed or you're a small business? I thought it's fun to share this because a lot of you guys I know are aspiring artists or aspiring small businesses as well, or maybe you're just starting out like in your bedroom like I did. I do think we need to try and find a way of being able to switch off, because I don't think it's necessarily completely healthy to be consumed with just work all the time, or at least that's what everyone keeps telling me anyway. So I don't know, let me know in the comments below how you deal with this sort of stuff. I would love to hear your thoughts about it, and I'll see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 9 when we'll be going into Edinburgh and seeing the Christmas markets. I'm super excited about that. I hope you enjoyed this little heart to heart. Thank you for coming for a little cup of tea with me and let me have a little ramble. I'll see you all very freaking soon. Love you. Goodbye.